Florence Villeminot is here for a review of the press. Hi, Flo. First of all, you're going to start us off with a look at NATO and how the organisation is reacting to tensions with Russia over Ukraine.
That's right. It's getting a lot of attention in the press today. The International New York Times is taking a closer look. It talks about how at the front line, NATO finds ambivalence over Ukraine. And the paper says that the crisis in Ukraine is really forcing NATO to take a good look at itself in the mirror. And it says that the crisis has been an unpleasant reminder that the alliance has been hollowed out militarily over the last couple of years due to spending cuts. And because of this, it means that NATO is no longer as prepared as before to defend its member states. And because of this, member states are shy to confront Russia.
And one country that the finger is pointed at for being ambivalent is Germany, according to the Daily Beast.
That's right. The Daily Beast says that there are a lot of reasons for this ambivalence, historic reasons, close economic ties, but also, according to U.S. sources, Germany has been helping Russia revolutionize its armed forces over the past few years. Now, there's a very interesting article today that says that the reason why officials in Washington started taking a closer look was because they were really shocked by the annexation of Crimea. They didn't see it coming. How did the Russian special forces get so good so fast without anybody noticing it? They wondered whether the Russians were getting some help from the West. And this article takes a closer look at just what the U.S. is looking at and points the finger at a German defense contractor named Rheinmetall. This article says that it signed a $140 million contract to train Russian soldiers, and this contract was only shut down recently. So this article says that officials in the U.S. are really upset about these findings.
Okay, let's move on. A lot of focus on Barack Obama's visit to Asia, starting in Japan.
That's right. He'll meet with the Prime Minister Shinzo Abe tomorrow. But now, the Prime Minister ruffled feathers this week by sending a religious offering to the Yasukuni Shrine that honors the war dead, including war criminals. And so, as you can imagine, this ruffled feathers in China, and they're pretty upset about the meeting between the two leaders. You can see here Barack Obama scratching his head as he's about to shake Shinzo Abe's head because there's that imperial soldier that is casting a shadow over that meeting there. Now, another aspect of Obama's visit that's drawing attention is the fact that he is going to be traveling solo. And there's an interesting article in the Christian Science Monitor that points out that he's going stag to Asia. And this has people in Japan upset. Now, why is that? Well, it's because recently Michelle Obama, the First Lady, and her daughters visited China. And so, according to this article in the Christian Science Monitor, people in Japan wonder what all this says about Japan's place in the U.S.'s priority list.
They're going to miss out on the style stakes there without Michelle. Let's come closer to home here in France, focus on politics and a possible revolt that Prime Minister Manuel Valls is facing over these spending cuts.
That's right. This is the big story in the French paper today. Yesterday, he met with these so-called socialist rebels who were very critical of his 50 billion euro savings plan. And he said that he would back down. He would make some concessions. And you can read about it all over the press. This is an article in Le Figaro that points out that it's not exactly clear what those concessions are going to be. It's likely to be a small symbolic gesture to reassure his majority. But in its editorial, Le Figaro says that even if this is a small concession, it's too much. And Valls needs to learn how to say no to his friends. He's just going to be opening up a door here, setting a precedent.
Left-leaning Libération, though, presumably more supportive of the Prime Minister.
That's right. They say this is a very clever move by the Prime Minister. He's taking a step-by-step approach. Giving into these socialist rebels is really a PR move, a smart strategy to just reassure his camp and keep going.
Okay, finally, Flo, I hope it's a lighter note. A feud between two rappers has turned violent?
No, unfortunately, it's not. This is a very serious story. It's getting a lot of attention in the French press. Let's take a look at the front page of Aujourd'hui en France. It talks about quand le rap dérape, so when rap goes bad. And you can see a photo of the two main protagonists here. You have Booba on the left and Ruff on the right. They're the biggest names in French rap right now, and they're big rivals. Now, yesterday, Ruff, he was actually placed into custody for allegedly taking place in participating in a fight that broke out at the branch of a store called Uncut. That's a clothing brand that's owned by Booba. Now, a 19-year-old employee was seriously injured in this scuffle, and a lot of papers are saying that this is really a sad day for French rap. The French rap has been soiled by this story. You can read about it in Libération as well, because this is an old feud. Up until now, it was just a war of words, and now it's definitely crossed a line.
Florence Villeminot, thank you very much for that review of the press. And next up here on France 24, your sports roundup, and it kicks off with football.
It's as you were in the first leg of the Champions League semi